Hello everybody, welcome back to the Football Unplanned channel, the place where you can get all the chilled out conversation about football. So today the topic is gonna be one of the topics that I've never thought that we'll be discussing, but here it is. It's San Marino finally winning a match. So let's begin with the basic geography lesson. So San Marino is a country that has about 35,000 people. And it's landlocked inside Italy, and basically it's on the hill. So that is actually why they managed to stay a sovereign state throughout the history. But we're not here for geography, we're here for football. And their football association, even though it was formed in the 1930s, wasn't registered officially with FIFA or UEFA until 1988. So before that year, actually, all of the San Marino players in the eyes of the federations were considered Italian. Best example of that would be probably San Marino's best football player of all the history, Massimo Bonini, who actually played for Italy in the youth categories and won several Scudettos and won Champions Cup with Juventus. So he decided that he doesn't want to represent Italy on the national level for seniors, and he didn't want to relinquish his San Marino passport. So he had to wait until 1990 for his official debut for San Marino, where unfortunately for San Marino he was already approaching the end of his career. And actually things didn't start that bad for San Marino. They played their first unofficial match on Mediterranean Games in Aleppo in 1987. It was a 0-0 draw against Lebanon. Unfortunately, they lost the remaining two games of group stages and got knocked out. Their first UEFA recognized match came in the Euro 1992 qualifiers against Switzerland, and it was a 0-4 loss, unfortunately. In that entire qualification campaign, they only managed to score one goal against Romania. But things started to look up for San Marino in the World Cup 1994 qualifiers. They managed to earn their first point with 0-0 draw against Turkey. Actually, one of the most famous moments in San Marino football history came in the last match day of those qualifiers. They were playing England, who needed to win by 7-goal difference to actually have a chance to qualify for 1994 World Cup. And things didn't go as they planned. San Marino had a kickoff, they played a through ball, and Stuart Pearce played a really bad back pass to David Seaman. The ball got intercepted by Gautieri, San Marino player, and he managed to tap it into the net behind David Seaman. Actually, at that time, it was the fastest goal in the qualifiers for World Cup. It only took San Marino 8.3 seconds to score that goal. That record was unfortunately later beaten by Christian Benteke, who scored the goal in 8.1 seconds. So, remember when I said that things were starting to look up for San Marino? Well, that wasn't the case. After this, they went on an 8-year losing streak. They managed to break that streak in 2001 when they held Latvia to a goalless draw, and it was actually their first away points in the history. Very soon after that, in 2002, they managed to secure their first win. Even though it was a friendly match, they managed to beat Liechtenstein 1-0. So we have something, we're on a roll here. No, 10-year losing streak. In that 10-year period, they suffered 3 double-digit defeats, 10-0 by Poland, 11-0 by Netherlands, and their biggest defeat of history, it was 13-0 against Germany. As we've already covered, they are only a country with 35,000 people, so around that time they started to look for people who had San Marinese roots. So they managed to get few players from Argentina who were connected to the country by their grandparents. One of them was actually Adolfo Hirsch, and I have serious questions for his parents. But jokes aside, those players actually made some impact in the San Marinese team. One of them actually now at 37 years old is still playing for them, Dante Rossi. The pandemic wasn't a good time for the majority of human race, but actually in that time San Marino began to connect some results together. In the first iteration of the Nations League, they were put into the Group D with the rest of the micronations and teams, well, honestly not much football history, so they managed to squeak 2 draws against Liechtenstein and Gibraltar. After years of defeats against European teams, their federation reached a conclusion. In a way to actually boost the rating of the team and their performances, they started to look for matches outside of Europe. So in 2022 they played their first match against non-European opposition. It was an AFCON team, Cape Verde. They lost that match again because, well, Cape Verde is a solid team for their standards, but that didn't discourage San Marino. They started to play against other teams on other continents, so they actually had some matches against Seychelles, St. Lucia and St. Kitts and Nevis. Those matches actually went pretty well. Lots of them were draws and their confidence was as high as it can be. But now we're here and it's September of 2024, the historical moment. The opening of the third iteration of Nations League and their match against Liechtenstein. Well, that match also didn't start the best for San Marino. Liechtenstein scored after 30 minutes, but thankfully it was disallowed for offside. And then came the moment of truth. The ball was put into the Liechtenstein box. It was some clumsy defending, a bad header back. The goalkeeper came after the ball, he missed it, and 19-year-old Nico Sansoni basically tapped it into the open net. And actually, by the end of the match, Liechtenstein didn't have a shot on target. So it was time for celebration. Their first official win in the history. I was kinda hoping that the story won't end there, because a few days later they had another friendly match, this time against Moldova. And if they managed not to lose this match, it would be first time in their history that they were on a 2 matches unbeaten run. Well, unfortunately Moldova managed to score 1 goal and it finished 1-0, so that part of the history will have to wait. So, will San Marino start winning every match? No. Will they still be someone who will be remembered for losing all the matches? Well, probably, but hopefully not in such way that was in the history. But what's most important is that they, by their history and their persistence to actually seek for the first win, garnered a lot of online attention, a lot of fans, and actually people who follow their every match in hopes that finally the tide will turn and they will start winning. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and on Friday Patrick will also be back and we're gonna do Premier League predictions for game week 4. Until then, take care and see you guys later.